Hey guys, Crewman here, and this is the Force GC300 Wireless controller review. First off, I want to give a big shout out to MSI. They've been a big supporter of my channel, and I have very much enjoyed reviewing their products. Second, I want to frame some context for this review. In terms of controllers, I am not an expert in this space, with my PC controller experience mostly revolving around using your standard Xbox Series X controller and occasionally using a PS5 controller. So this will be my first controller review, and I am pleased to say that at $44, this controller is hands down far and away better than your standard Xbox controller, and I will spend this review telling you why you should be going with the Force GC300 over your standard Xbox controller. So first, let's quickly do an unboxing. I've been using this box to carry around my controller, and it's actually been quite convenient. So it basically looks similar to how it would come, minus there's no plastic. So you open it up, you can take these tabs and open them up, and the controller pops right out. And it comes with a wireless dongle and a USB Type-C cable, which I will talk about later. Now, the first thing when you open it and look at this controller, you'll notice is the two trigger buttons on the back, which the regular Xbox controller does not have. You have to go spend over $100 to get one of those Elite controllers to get that feature. And these trigger buttons right here can basically be mapped to whatever you want them to be mapped to, which is really, really nice. And it makes your gaming experience a little more custom, and anytime you can customize your gaming experience, that's better in my book. And they're pretty responsive. I had no issues using them in game. It's nice when you hold them, your middle fingers essentially are able to click right on them with no issue, which is nice. The next thing I want to talk about is the feel of the controller. It is a little bit girthier than your standard Xbox controller, but obviously something like that, you can take my word for it, but it's something you have to hold for yourself to see. It's made of plastic, but it feels like it's pretty high quality, solid plastic. The next thing you'll notice about the GC300 that I like is there are two toggle switches at the top of the controller for the trigger buttons, and basically it allows you to either have a long press of the triggers or a short press, whereas something like an Xbox controller, that's not available, and you basically just get what you get. Really, really like that you have the option to do this, because I have found where actually I'll end up using, for certain games, I like the longer press, like in Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, and then some games I like the shorter press in, like, say, Horizon Forbidden West, where you need to be shooting things a lot, and I feel like that few extra seconds does give me an advantage. It could be mental, but either way, I like the fact that you have the option to either turn them into long press or short press. Another button you'll notice on the back, you have the option to either do wireless, Bluetooth, or you can connect wired. Now, one thing I want to say is I have not the best experience using Bluetooth on my computers. I like to switch computers with the same controller, and it's annoying having to constantly pair or repair, and it's just more extra work that I don't want to do. The thing I really like is you can use the wireless receiver, and you just have the dongle, and you can move the dongle from whatever PC you want, and it'll just work. And I really, really, really like that. And also, you have the option to use the USB-C controller that came with it, and it also doubles as a charger. They claim 20 hours of battery life. I haven't tested it, but I'll take it. And again, it's just something else that makes this better than the standard Xbox controller, because batteries, they just suck at this point. I feel like there's no reason to have batteries in your controller, and I would rather just charge it. I have not really used the Bluetooth. I would assume it works like standard Bluetooth. My only gripe with the wireless is that there's like no area in this controller where you can store it. Like, not back here or maybe under here. I feel like MSI could have given us somewhere to store it, or even up here. That's just a minor gripe though, so just don't lose the receiver. I keep it in the box or basically plug into a computer. Now let's talk about the buttons in the front. You've got your four standard Xbox buttons with the MSI symbol doubling up as the Xbox symbol. Nothing much to really say about those. They do what they need to do. As far as the buttons, they feel fine. I like the grips on the joysticks. They feel pretty good, and the D-pad feels pretty solid. Now, when it comes to a controller like this, you know, when I feel buttons, essentially I look for something that feels wrong, and if not, I just kind of move on. Like, basically, if I can use it with no issues, then it's a win in my book. And I see no issues with the buttons on this. You know, they're standard quality controller buttons, basically. You got to remember, this thing basically is marked to cost the same as your typical Xbox controller. Overall, this controller is a great value, and it is hands down, far and away, better than your standard Xbox controller. I would absolutely recommend it, and I plan on moving on from my three Xbox controllers. I really don't think I can go from this, back to this, and then back to this. So we are done with the typical Xbox controller, and I would rate the Force GC300 Wireless gaming controller as a group buy. So thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. And thanks again to MSI for sending me this over. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.